We
Jesus
are
Christ.
live from Orange, California. I am Hunter Snyder, the executive producer of Survivor Washington and a host who woke up all of his contestants at 3 in the morning, running on 0 hours sleep with me, as always, consistently, Marissa, our co-host, and the man of the hour, the man of pretty much the last 5 weeks, our first
The man of hour 14.
character to be voted off of Survivor Washington. Still standing by the decision that not playing your idol was the superior move, Mr. Wes Dornado.
All day. I did just want to start off by saying, we'll get into the thank you for including me in the season first, but this weekend was like a trying time.
Great.
What'd you say? I was just this weekend was kind of a trying time for me. I just want to let everyone know where my head's at right now. I was down in Las Vegas for a bachelor party.
Las Vegas?
Yeah, and one of the guys who was supposed to be with us passed away the night before the bachelor party started. So it was a trying weekend, and then of course last night happened. So it's been an awful, terrible couple days, but the show goes on, and I do have the Dornado shirt. So
shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Oh, I don't have my.
You beat Eric. That is 100% the Jamba Juice logo.
It was on custom ink. It was the Tornado logo. It stuck out.
Okay, well, badass. Yeah, again, we offer extreme condolences, seriously. But it's awesome that you're here with us. It shows how badass of a dude you are. You're here discussing this in a tragic time, discussing a tragic boot episode. If you will, but hey,
let's not use tragic towards both things.
Yeah, different kinds of tragedies, but it's
very different.
I'm also going to make this distinction. I am the first game changer of Survivor Washington, season 1 and season 2. Everyone always talks about to be a game changer, you have to make big moves, and sometimes the biggest moves are the ones that aren't made. Me not playing that idol was a huge move. It didn't work in my favor this time. Maybe next time it will. So. For everyone, all these Survivor super fans who think they know how to play the game, they don't. You had to be there. You had to be in my head. And
except for the other super fans that ended up placing ahead of you.
Yeah, maybe. So, also before, I just wanted to thank you, Hunter, for including me.
Yeah,
you've done such an amazing job. This production, all the editing, everything. All your family helping you. Like, this was such a top-notch production. And I don't know if Hunter's mentioned this, but right at the beginning, right when this whole thing started, half the crew, like 75% of the crew, did not show up. And Hunter gave us
literally none of the crew, 0 of the crew showed up.
Yeah, Hunter gave us
except for my family. But
Hunter gave us this passion.
Where'd you find those people?
Hunter gave us this passionate speech and talked about how we're going to make it the best season possible. And I think we really did. I think we hit the nail on the head.
Should I leave the two of you alone in a closet for 7 minutes?
Oh, you're still here, Marissa?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Leave you kids alone.
Well, speaking of that, because I know we talked about it briefly last episode, there is a confirmed production podcast that will release towards the end of the season for those of you who are interested in hearing about the struggle that we had to put together. But this is Wes's episode, so we will get into Wes's journey on Survivor Washington. The struggle, the day and a half of searching, hands in the dirt. But let's go way back. Okay, Wes, you're a prominent figure in terms of the fans of the Survivor community. I know that several people.
I like to think so.
Yeah, I know that several people.
You like to think so.
That watched my season, or they watched the first season, and they saw the cast for this one. They're like, "Oh, this guy's on. I know this guy. I know this guy." Very polarizing characters. You said you were Mr. 50-50. Talk about how you got established in the Survivor community.
It's a long story. We need a 3-hour podcast for this.
Cut it down.
I'll try. I wanted to share my thoughts on Survivor. I started having a blog. It wasn't getting as much traction as I wanted to, and I realized the best way to get yourself out there is just through tweets and through interacting. And so over the last couple of years, I've really it's kind of been my second job to be tweeting about Survivor. I don't get paid shit for it, but hey, can I swear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I obviously don't get paid.
We heard plenty of swearing last night. You're good.
I haven't watched the Corey episode. I've been too busy the last couple of days. But
you didn't watch your own episode?
I haven't watched the Corey interview.
Oh, I'm talking about last night when
okay.
was like, what the fuck? I'm not fucking wearing a bra. And...
How about you, Hunter? You started it.
Oh yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy I did that. I love getting that out of those people.
Yeah, so I've been tweeting about Survivor. I feel like I've really I guess I've kind of made a name for myself. I mean, casting doesn't really know me through Survivor Twitter, but hopefully they do at some point. But but my tweets, they don't really, they're not. Some of my real thoughts, like who I am, come out sometimes. But most of the times, it's kind of like an inflammatory character. I try to be a little, I say kind of crazy things sometimes. Not that crazy, but I have pissed off a lot of people. And one of those people, that I've pissed off, happened to be on my tribe, which Mr. Sean Swaney. So we had gotten into it on Twitter.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let's pause on that one because that's a good. I want to talk about that in relation to the game because that did have some sort of an impact. I didn't end up putting in, but I remember a lot of talk on that as we got into the game. Definitely put that one on hold. But so you're tweeting, and and you're of course like most people that get involved with Twitter and social media on Survivor. You're beginning to make a ton of friends, and obviously enemies as well. When would you say like your golden age of being in the Survivor fandom happened, if it's not already happening currently?
Right fucking now.
Really?
I'd say my golden age. Well, actually, for Game Changers, I got a lot of traction on a couple of the blogs that I wrote. Like Dalton Ross was interacting with them, like Troy Zan. So that was definitely really cool when that took off.
Question: were you part of Blockgate with Troy Zan?
I happened to not get part of Blockgate. I think he saw through.
Really?
I think he, I had to interact with him.
I am blocked. I got blocked in Blockgate. I got blocked.
It's because you probably liked an insult on him. He probably just goes through all the likes and just blocks people. But yeah, so that I'd say my golden age was probably Game Changers. But I'll have another golden age probably in the next couple weeks or so.
What was your has your Twitter handle always been at Westorn?
So this is coming from Igor now. It used to be the Wes Rogers. Rogers is my middle name.
Rogers, plural.
Wes Rogers, like Steve Rogers. Rogers is my middle name. That was when I was trying to like rebrand myself to get on Survivor. Like I was an all-American guy, but that definitely didn't work. Marissa's giving me this evil eye right now.
That was a pull point.
I'm scanning the Igor interaction, because I'd say potentially, with the exception of Emma, you may have been the person I interacted with earliest on the cast on Igor, going as far back as December 10th, 2014.
Yeah, I'd say right around like San Juan del Sur, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly that time
period.
Crazy.
And the moment when I met Hunter at first, like, I'm like, oh, you're Hunter, you're Igor. I hate Igor. I told him like straight up, I hate the Igor character. I don't hate you as a person, but I hate the Igor character.
So your presence in Survivor community, I remember. So you were not one of the first batch of applicants. You're at the end, very end. It was around what, June or so.
So you had posted. So I'm in Survivor, the Seattle Survivor Facebook group. So you would
a Survivor Seattle's Facebook group?
Yeah, there's like 70 or 80 of us in there. We get together and watch the episodes from time to time. So Hunter posted the link in there, and I was very hesitant to sign up because I had just been in an online Survivor game too that took up a shit ton of time, and I was kind of Survivored out. And I'm like,
3 or 4 months or something?
Yeah, like 4 months. It was really, really time consuming. And also I was in the process of like finding a new job and like quitting. So it was just time frame wise, it wasn't really the best. But I had a friend who reached out to me who runs the Seattle group. He's like, hey, this is a great opportunity. You should do this. And I had done improv for the last year. And one of the main things in improv, they tell you to accept offers that are given to you.
Always say yes.
Yeah, always say yes. Like if you're on the improv stage and someone offers you acts like you're the dentist or something and goes up and you say, hey, dentist, like I've got a toothache or something. And then if I say, no, I'm a garbage man, it just ruins the scene right there. But so I just kind of like trained myself to be more open and more accepting of offers. So I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'll apply. I sent my application in.
I don't think that's what they meant.
What?
But okay.
No, it's you kind of take it on in real life too. You know, you be more positive and like open to it. It definitely there's real life implications to like practicing improv. So you know, I said screw it, I'll apply. I might as well. It's only one weekend, so I applied, and you heard back pretty soon, and that's it.
Yeah, you were again. We were like, we're only casting women and men over 35, and you're 34, and I was like, you know what, we'll just let this slide. And then plus on the flip side, so the Igor connection comes in with so Igor and Aubrey were of course super close, and then Aubrey and I have gotten to become friends since Igor was taken down or whatever. But I was in the process of deciding, do I really want to get these male positions, these 35 male positions, or am I just going to give in? And so I asked Aubrey, because I know that you interact with Aubrey quite a bit on Twitter. Aubrey's like, you have to cast this guy. And I'm like, okay, I'm sold. If Aubrey's telling me that you're castable, you're on. So you get on. And
what were you going to say? Sorry, what were you going to say, Marissa?
Because you're old. That's what he's trying to tell you. I'm not the old guy.
Yeah, no, I'm saying he's young. I'm saying he didn't fill the old man position.
Well, I appreciate Aubrey stumping for me. That was nice for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you contact me, and I had to go down and do a pre-season interview.
Well, did you think that you were going to get, like, was it, I mean, I asked this to everybody because most of the cast was in a position where, I mean, you had to apply and you had to go through the interview stage and all this stuff. Did you assume that no matter what you're getting cast? Like when you put in this application, were you like, I'm just committing to this right away? Like this.
When I did like a 3-sentence like pitch to you, and right when I did that, I knew I was going to get cast. It just seemed right. It just seemed like I didn't know who was
good.
What'd you say?
It just felt good.
It just felt good. I just felt like it was the right thing to do, and like it was kind of meant to be. So I knew I was going to get cast.
Where is my so it was you and okay, so Seattle Survivor Association, and again, like with this group, I think vaguely, like you knew Sarah vaguely.
Yeah, so I mentioned Sean a bit. We can get back to that in a second or whatever. I knew Sarah I've known her for a couple years. I don't really know her personally. I think she came over we had a viewing party at my condo one time. I think she was in that group, maybe exchanged some pleasantries. And I also taught her at the RHIP Live Know-It-Alls down in LA a bit. But I've known, and she's been also in RHIP. I'm a member of RHIP. I've known that Sarah kind of had a negative opinion about me from for a long time.
Most people do.
Right, a lot, 50% do. So I knew Sarah. It wasn't a positive. I didn't think she hated me. I just thought that she wasn't a West fan, that's fine. You know, not everyone has to be. She is now, but you know, she's a friend, and so is Sean now. So at the time going into it, I was kind of scared that Sarah would sign up for it. Like this is before it all happened. I was scared of a couple people signing up for it, and one of them was Sarah.
The other person name?
What?
The other person name?
Yep.
I'm reading the comments right now. I just want to clarify before we get too far. Yes, I'm gonna get to Dylan Wallace's in a second.
Is that Dylan? Is that Survivor Dylan commenting on the YouTube page? I hate that kid.
I have no idea.
To
our cameraman who claims that I have not used their clips yet, I have used your clips. They are great clips. They worked out really well. Yes, they are in there. So there's Sarah, but then there's also I'm just looking at the people that applied from the Seattle Survivor Association. A couple of them I didn't end up casting. Kaya was a part of that. Molly was a part of that. I believe that's all on the cast. But like none of you guys were close. None of you guys were friends. I
had never heard of Molly or Kaya's name before. The Seattle group, it's not that active. There's not a lot of weekly posts or whatnot. You know, it's active during the season occasionally, but mostly it's just for event signups and whatnot. So I might have been in the same room as Kaya at one point. I'm not sure, but we definitely didn't know each other beforehand.
Okay, so you get your interview. We talk. Dylan Wallace wants to know, Wes, you've stated in past interviews that you're prejudiced against other super fans. Can you expand on this hatred?
I'm guessing this is the Survivor Dylan from the YouTube comments. It's just...
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Okay. I changed my opinion about 4 years ago. I used to be like a strategy nerd too. I used to like think that I knew exactly what went on during an episode. And that after talking to contestants and just realizing that you see such a small snippet of what actually goes on during the game, that it's so edited.
Not realize that?
It's not realized.
3 days, like broken down in 42 minutes. They're not showing everything.
So there's so much that we don't see. It's just so hard to really figure out exactly why the boots. So the boots. The show is scripted. It's the story of the boots. It's not the actual story of the day-to-day interactions and whatnot. And so, so my feeling about superfans, I just don't like the people who think they know exactly what's going on. Because the only people who know exactly what's going on are the cameramen, the producers, and the contestants themselves.
Yeah. And even then, knowledge is extremely limited.
Right.
I completely agree with you. I mean, I think you said that in your interview, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I feel the same way about this. There's a lot that goes down that in a 3-game a day alone you don't see, and even like contestants still to this point think something went down, and it's like that's absolutely not how it went down at all. So when it's like what you said with the scripted version of Survivor, as I am saying as an editor and a producer, everything that happens in those 3 days is completely genuine. What you're watching is fake. It's a show. It's essentially as scripted as it can get.
Well, can I tell a little production secret about something that it was
going to anyways?
What
was it? Does that have to do with the idol?
Yeah. So we were rushed for time a lot of the times out there, just because at one point we had to reshoot confessionals because the mic wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I'm not busting your balls. The scene where I talked about, like, I had the idol, I'm talking about how I can use her or whatnot, that was filmed after I was booted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would have been a little more passionate if I hadn't been booted already, obviously.
Yeah, that was filmed after. The reason for that actually was that you didn't have the idol with you to show to the camera. And I just wanted...
Because it was probably in my jacket. That's when Connor found it.
It was in the idol pocket.
That's funny. That's hilarious, actually. So when you were talking about finding the idol, that was the exact same, because you were in confessional, which is why Connor was able to go through your jacket. This about the same moment that I was asking you if you had the idol with you, Connor was probably seeing it in your jacket.
So Connor was probably spying on my confessional, which I never did to anyone.
He looted you.
What?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you hid it in the designated idol pocket. That was your first mistake. Obviously, that's the first place they're going to check.
You've been giving me shit for my yoga shorts. Like, where am I going to hide the idol in those shorts?
Obviously.
You gotta step it up next time. Get like an underground bunker. You got to build a shelf. Get a treasure chest.
It is not my fault that you wore pants 3 sizes too small and there was nowhere to hide it.
I should have had them in my socks, but the thing is this. I wanted to leave my jacket around to make it seem like I wasn't carrying it around, because I didn't want them to think.
But when you leave it in the jacket, why don't you just go bury it or something?
Well, it might have, because I think I had it in the tent, and I didn't want to make it seem like I was going to get the sweatshirt for my confessional, because obviously that would be a dead giveaway that I had something in my sweatshirt.
Yeah, in the idol pocket.
Yeah, fair
enough. You had its own little special pocket.
Yeah, so Sketchy Connor was going around searching through my pockets and stuff.
Sketchy Connor.
I've been called sketchy and shady too many fucking times. Like, I got to get shit off my chest, but we'll go through it as we.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go. All right. So you do your interview. Anything you're thinking of before the game starts, or you just like, I'm just gonna go into it?
Yeah. Well, so okay, I started doing some like pregame reconnaissance like the day before, and you know what I'm gonna talk about right here. I started doing some pregame reconnaissance to see potentially who could be on the season. And so I checked Hunter's Facebook, and he posted, I've got 6 ATF people hanging out at my house right now. So I go and I see.
God damn it, Hunter.
It was an honest mistake.
To be fair, 5 of them were only supposed to be on the cast.
Okay. It was an honest mistake. So I start going through Twitter to see of the known ATF people that I knew of. And sure enough, I saw that Sean had tweeted something about traveling to Seattle. So I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm going to have to deal with this guy, too.
You're just Facebook stalking everyone. Like,
Twitter stalking is different. Twitter stalking is acceptable. Facebook stalking is not. So I knew right then and there that you mentioned that 5 or 6 ATF people were there, that I was probably already screwed before the game even started, because I knew that I'd pissed off some ATF people in the past.
Yeah. And to be fair, I've done all of the reviewing over the footage and everything. And in terms of the people that are ATF, number one, when I cast them, this is completely genuine. They're all cast in December. Not one person knew each other. I'm 100% sure that they all were complete strangers to each other, and then stuff happened where a couple. But overall, the impact of ATF on the game was almost complete. Like, I will just spoil that there was never at any point, oh, ATF Alliance, let's pick off everybody, and never everybody played genuinely.
Yeah, and I just want to I just want to say that I am not.
Oh, ATF losers.
What was that?
What?
Those ATF losers. Wes, you have something to share with the class?
Oh, yeah,
Is there something you'd like to share?
I got shit for that.
About those ATF losers?
I got crap for that.
And what are you now, Wes? What are you?
Yeah, what are you, Wes?
I am now an ATF, proud ATF member. So, ATF.
Yeah, you're an ATF loser.
I'm the bridge. I'm an ATF loser. So, where was I going to say? Yeah, I just want to make it clear. I'm not accusing anyone of a pregame alliance.
Of course, yeah.
I am accusing people of knowing each other and being familiar with each other beforehand. And so, I will say that in the game of Survivor.
And in your case, knowing each other, not liking each other.
Yeah, knowing me. So, the game of Survivor works best, I think, when it's 16, 18, 19, 20 people who don't know each other. There's no semblance of knowledge of anyone, and that's when it works the best. And I feel like Survivor Washington Season 2 kind of played out like a returnee season, just because there was a lot of knowledge of people within the cast.
But it appears it didn't really make a difference if you guys created an issue out of it.
Well, and as a producer, I will openly state
that you made an ass.
There were far too many ATF people on this cast, and even the ATF people agreed. Again,
sounds like we needed all ATF season.
It had no impact on the game. Period. There are changes in the rules because of it, because to prevent any form of potential pregame alliance or potential information, because again, we're on a cast limited of people that applied for this in the first place. Right now, we have more than enough people to create a cast of people that don't know each other. Period. However, sorry, I'm reading the comments at the same time. The rules for next season, essentially, there's not going to be any chance that anybody really knows each other. And in terms of coming in with a strategy of knowing somebody in the game, there's going to be rules that'll prevent anything from that happening. But again, there's no impact on the season.
Okay.
And we won't name anybody from that may or may not have been ATF members. I'm sure people can infer whatever.
Well, I will name 2 at some point in the conversation.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'll be fair because it's a valid point. Okay, so you're stalking people pregame.
I'm not stalking. I'm doing research.
You're researching. You're field researching. Okay. And then you just show up on location.
So I was like in the process of quitting my job, and my wife had been on a week-long conference, so I hadn't seen her in a week, and so I had to like kind of figure out what to do with my dog in between. She was coming back Friday afternoon. I was going down Friday morning, so I had to kind of figure out what to do with my dog. So it was kind of, and then also I ate 8 slices of pizza the night before and the morning of, so I was so bloated. And
who the fuck married you?
I was so bloated for the start of the game. That was a huge mistake. But anyway, I hate Cheerios, so it's kind of good though. But so I drive down from Seattle down to Sumner. I get there at like 7:45 or 7:30. I think the game was supposed to start at 8. I show up, and then I immediately recognize a bunch of these ATF people, ATF losers. So yeah, and then we all get situated and settled, and then We get divided into tribes, and of course, Sean and Sarah are my tribe, and yeah, and then the game started.
And so, aside from the ATF people, do you have any ideas of anybody that you were going to be playing with?
I was expecting a couple of people that I might have known from the Seattle Facebook group. Obviously, Sarah came down, but I didn't. That was pretty much it. I was hoping that a couple of my friends would come down, but that was, obviously wasn't the case. And then obviously we had the crew mishap with a lot of the crew canceling last minute. So that sucked.
So speaking of Seattle Survivor Association, the one guy that was going to be our alternate he was in the Seattle Survivor Association, is the one that didn't show up and forced Brett into the game.
Yeah, I don't know who that was, but
I'm not gonna name names, but that made me bitter towards Seattle Survivor.
Well, I also now that I think about it, I knew of Nico before the game started, just because we'd followed each other on Twitter for the last year or two. We barely interacted, but I recognized what he looked like, and I think he recognized me too. But there was I don't think we'd have never DM'd or anything.
Okay, and I remember Nico said this. I don't know if you were part of this. I sent out an email to the cast, and I accidentally forgot to make it a blind carbon copy, and it ended up including names of half the people in the cast. And so Nico went through and did his own research, knowing
yeah.
I mean, he never reached out.
Didn't work for him. Sorry, Nico. But credit to Nico for sticking around and helping you out, though.
Yes, Nico is a huge help. And Nico was going to be originally I was going to have Nico in this to talk about when we were doing post recaps only. I should have had him on the post recap show though to get that, because Nico and I, the night of the swap,
was
Nico was not on the post recap with you guys.
Mm-hmm. That was when we did
just 5 minutes ago, or an hour ago.
Oh no, I thought you meant on his.
No,
that was when we did combined.
Nico and I. So what happened was tribes went to bed. About 2 hours later, crew went to bed. Nico and I were shoved in the back of a car, and then an hour later, we got up and went and woke him up. But Nico and I were talking about that. But production podcast, we'll talk about that then. So Wes, you get out and you are starting the game, and immediately you're shifty and paranoid. That's the one thing I remember is you're freaking out. You're playing Tony Game Changers.
Yeah, right when the game started, I knew I had to kind of smooth things over with Sarah and Sean to kind of make sure that they didn't have any lingering I guess hate towards me, and try to work with them. And I really worked really hard on Sean and Sarah, and I had a lot of good bonding moments with them. And I know I really worked at trying to get those to be my main two allies. And I even I showed Sarah at one point the idol clue, just to try to get some more faith and trust in her. But yeah, I just that was the main thing. And so right when the game started, I noticed that Erica, Sarah, and I were the three oldest people in the tribe. So I started trying to figure out what are going to be some of these divisions.
So you are the old guy.
What am I? What?
Well, he's the oldest person in the cast.
Yeah, I was the oldest. I was the oldest male in the cast. But so I was trying to figure out divisions that might happen, and I was really hoping that Molly or Emma would be the first two gone. I would have men would have one leg up on the woman, and also one of the younger people were gone first. But I was really just trying to talk to everybody, and the thing with our camp at Carbonado,
everyone knew Connor was the plan.
What'd you say?
Just make sure that everybody knew that Connor was the plan.
Right. But the thing with the Carbonado camp, there was really no place to strategize. And so we had the area where the water was. And so once one person would go get water, there was a rule that two people, if someone was getting water, two people had to go total. And so once one person was getting water, the whole camp would go.
Here's my question. How were they all where were you when they were all strategizing after finding your idol?
Either in the bathroom or doing a confessional.
That's the prime time you go after somebody who's win. And I know, Wes, you actually asked me pregame if we were going to have lockdown during confessionals. And then looking back on that and seeing the time crunch that we were on, I hope that rule is completely clarified and justified.
Yeah, so the camp was really small, and there's really – you couldn't – so whenever someone would walk away or turn their back, there'd be people would be making eye contact, whatnot. And then, so also the confessional area was right next to camp too. So I couldn't really be as animated or like be as expressive as I wanted to because I didn't want other people to hear me. And I also, you know, I know it's a big thing. Like at no point was I watching confessionals. That's a really good job by Connor to put that bug in everyone's ear saying that like Wes is sketchy. He's watching confessionals. Credit to him for doing that.
Not what I heard.
I never did that. And so like the confessionals were right by camp. So I was a little afraid that people could see through the bushes. And that's why when you first see me doing the idol hunt, like I'm crawling around because I was afraid that people would see me through the bushes looking for the idol.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knew that's what you were doing.
Well, everyone was looking for the idol.
In regards to that whole the idol shenanigans and being close to camp, and I know that the whole season people were like, "Man, Wes is sketchy. He's lying. Did you ever really lie?
So no, I didn't. I mean, I guess when people would bring up like Sarah's name, I'd go along with it. But then I told her they were bringing her name up. And what the main, like my main downfall, there's a couple of reasons, but like people were buying into Connor's lies and not listening to my truths. I was telling people the truth the whole time. I mean, and then like Emma,
you're just sketchy enough that people would just believe these things,
or they just wanted me out because they realized I was a competitor. And so like Emma's like saying like Wes is sketchy, he's strategizing a lot. Emma was like extremely strategic and like right there getting rid of Molly. Like she was like the whole like fake like note that Molly found or whatever. Like Emma was right there like in the midst of that whole like strategic talk. So she was like actually like being like strategic right off the bat. She was talking about how she hates when people do it. Well, she was doing that too.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So, and people, like, just stuff came up. I know that Sean, which evidently wasn't in a confessional, that Sean lied to Emma and said that you said that she was going to be second out. Stefan did the exact same thing to Erica the morning you were voted out.
Everyone was lying. I mean, mine was just shown, though. So.
She didn't even have to think about it. She's like, oh, Wes is targeting me? Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm on board with that.
There was a lot of
there was no questioning it. Like, ooh, Stefan's on the bottom of this whole thing, and he's at risk for going home. I wonder if he's just telling me whatever I want to hear. No, man, that sounds like Wes. That's classic Wes.
I was locked in with Erica, Sarah, and Sean. I was willing
to go to
not. Those four total. What?
Obviously not. They dropped you like a Hot Pocket fresh out of the microwave.
You know, well, I mean, if you look at me versus Connor, nothing against Connor, but like, you know, I think people would much rather get rid of me sooner than Connor, maybe because they thought they could beat him in challenges and stuff. So I don't know. And he lied really well. He got everyone thinking that I was really sketchy. So, you know, once again, credit to Connor for beating me. I mean,
let's take a little responsibility for our actions here. I mean, you gollumed your way around that camp, like searching for that idol. Like you were obsessed.
I was doing it in front of everybody. So yeah. I mean, like I was trying to make it clear that I was finding the idol, and I was hoping to find it in front of everybody, so that everyone knew I had the idol and that we would use it together. Because it was kind of like Hunter showed us where the idol area, like it was a huge area. And so everyone during the confessionals was looking for the idol. It was not like everyone knew that they were doing it. So I just like, you know, there's no point in hiding or lying about it. I'm just going to tell them like, why lie about this when I'm obviously doing it. So I'm like, I'm trying to find the idol. Like, let's use it to our advantage.
Yeah. And again, it comes back to the whole TV. It's all scripted thing, because again, like you can only, the deal with the idol is you can only search when you're in confessionals. So it's not like you even had the opportunity to just be like ignoring camp and searching around for the idol whenever the confessional person isn't there.
And we had a lot of downtime on that first day when Wilkerson went to get rid of first Nico, then Sheree, then Corey. We had a lot of downtime. So we were just sitting around for 10 hours. So of course I'm just going to be like rustling around looking for shit, because we were just sitting on the stools, drinking water, going to the bathroom. Sean's throwing up. We're eating Cheerios, and like we're doing nothing. And so I'm like, you know what? I might as well. The clue hadn't been found yet. We figured there was a clue, so I might as well keep looking for the clue. And then I was eventually able to find the clue, and I knew that like I thought that Emma saw me find it too. So but I wasn't sure about it because she didn't confront me about it.
So in relation to you had a whole bunch of downtime, you won 3 challenges in a row. I think it's very likely and safe to assume that maybe not the 4th challenge, but the 2nd or 3rd challenge, Connor most likely is gone. Do you think if you would have had that loss, you would have lasted longer in the game?
You know, I do think that if we lost the 2nd challenge, there's no question that Connor would have gone home. I don't think he would have been able to convince everyone to get rid of me at that point.
You've got a real fatal attraction thing for Connor.
Yeah, Connor and I. So I think if we had lost the 2nd challenge, he probably would have gone home. So it was beneficial for him for us to keep winning. And then I guess we're not there yet, but there was thoughts of like, as we started winning, I started getting a little like paranoid about people throwing challenges too, because as we're getting closer to the merge, I figured that I might be a target. But
Sarah insinuated that it'd be better to lose challenge.
Yeah, so and maybe Erica did throw the challenge. I don't think I've never accused her of that, but I mean there is possibilities that she did take her time getting the ball up there. I mean, that's always an option, but I'm not saying that she did. I'm just saying she could have. And there was lots of talking at the challenge between tribes. And at one point, I know I'm going a little far in the future right now, but that last challenge that I was in, I was trying to tell Sarah on the walk back, she was about to go off to Wilkerson. I was trying to tell her that I was pretty sure that Kitty and Lindsay were friends, but she didn't want to have any part of me. And so I kind of knew at that point that I was also screwed with everyone in that tribe, that they had been talking about me, because like if Sarah didn't want to have any kind of connection with me, I figured that I was screwed at that point too. But we'll get into the tribal council at some point soon.
Yeah, so we can get a tribal council unless you had anything before.
Yeah, so we did the swap, and Stefan and Kaya come over, and like Stefan was acting all kind of shady and stuff. Stefan's great. I have nothing against Stefan, but I knew that he was ATF too, just from the name recognition, and so I was trying to figure out who the other ATF people were. I guess I don't have to name all the names, but at one point I think Sean and I caught Stefan revealing Connor's cats' names. He just randomly I asked about talked about Connor's cats.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, how many cats does Connor have?
He seems like a
Don't bury the lead.
cat dad, so he probably has like 10 of them. But he knew Connor's.
Wait, are you saying he's a cat daddy?
If you want to call him that. So
I can't imagine Connor with pets. I feel like people like Connor kill pets for fun.
So I called them out. I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous, guys. You're obviously friends. And they're talking about, oh, we're not really close. We're kind of like in the same forum or chat room with each other and stuff. Fast forward, it turns out that they have a fucking podcast together. So they were friends. But I called them out.
Potato.
What'd you say?
Tomato potato. It's basically it's all the same thing. You know,
right.
Don't know each other, kind of know each other, have a podcast.
So I was telling Erica at some point, these people are aligned, they're fucking friends. Stefan knows Connor's fucking cats' names. So Erica obviously didn't believe me, and Sean was right there too, and he was denying all that, or he was accepting it, and he was
I mean, obviously you should have spent more time learning Connor's cats' names, and maybe you'd still be in the game.
Yeah, maybe it's your social game.
Right, and so I'm these guys are aligned, and I was pressing Sean at that point, Sean, tell me that there's no ATF alliance. Let's run an honest game. He's like, there's no alliance. I'm not saying that they did have alliance. So he's like, there's no alliance. I'm like, I wouldn't do that to Hunter's game. So I was definitely pressing Sean about this. We can't allow this to happen. We can't let them go further in this game, the two of them. And then we both Stefan and Kaya had their pitches. Credit to Kaya, Stefan, and Connor for lying. I know Marissa wasn't really in on Stefan's acting abilities. I should have he was really honing it up, so I should have known he was full of shit.
Yeah. That was That was rough.
And like Connor was like, you saw there's a scene of me like apologizing to Connor. That was trying me to get like the one last chance to get like in good graces with him, like making sure that we're aligned now, that we're no longer enemies. Because it seemed like he was crying at that point. And so, I kind of
like actual tears.
Yeah, I kind of left the game at the point to make sure that he was okay.
Wait. Why would he be crying?
I have no idea. Maybe it was just part of the whole act, but it seemed like he was crying. So so I thought like, and we had like talked about like the 3-3 split for a long time like that day, and obviously I was probably fast asleep, and they had been like strategizing that morning, and how Kai had revealed to Connor that she had the idol, which was like good on her for getting this ally, because she obviously felt like she was at the bottom of the tribe. But the way it panned out, it just didn't make any sense to me as to why someone like Sean or Erica would be willing to swap me out for one of them. Because, if we win that, if we get rid of one of the initial Wilkersons, we have such an advantage going into the potential merge in one or two, after one or two tribals, that we could just pick them all off. But that's the name of the game. That's what happened. And I'm going to stand by not playing the idol, because if I had played the idol, I was.
You would still be in the game.
You know what though? I was gone next.
You would have 100% done better than you did.
No, because
that's a guaranteed fact.
So I play my idol, and
Even you out the next week.
I go out the next tribal. Maybe they throw the challenge. There's no chance.
You still finish better.
There's no chance I'm stiffing the merge.
You still. Yeah, but you still make it another week.
Yeah, but if I don't play my idol and they are aligned with me, I have a better chance to go into the end game. If I play my idol, I'm voted out the next tribal council.
What about this one?
It's damned if I do, damned if I don't. So, I'm convinced that I was gone next tribal if I play the idol.
Yes, but that's still 1 week or one vote out better.
I know, but you don't. I'm not playing for what was that, 13th place? I'm playing for first place. So you got to take.
You're literally playing. If you're not first, you're last.
You can't rely on finding idol after idol and winning challenge after challenge. You have to build trust. You have to build these trusts in these alliances. And if I play my idol, after strategizing with Erica and Sean for the last couple of hours, like I proved to them that I don't trust them. Now I have two more enemies.
Did you feel not safe at all in that challenge? Or I mean,
in the challenge,
the tribal council, were you not feeling safe? Was there any hint of you that wasn't feeling safe? Like how? In terms of percentages, what percentage was blindside when you were voted out versus not wanting to play the idol, like willing to risk it?
I don't know. I would say that maybe I had like they did a lot of good, solid acting jobs. I thought like that I was definitely aligned with Kai at that point, and that I was going to start working with her and then get rid of Connor after the Stefan vote. So I was probably 80% certain that I wasn't going home.
Wow, it's 80% blindside. That's crazy. That's probably the biggest blindside so far.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to do a big blindside to get rid of a player like me, the Tornado.
Yeah,
so
yeah, especially with an idol in pocket.
Yes, please what a tornado is, because to me, you're more like the trailer park that gets hit by the tornado.
Trailer park. The tornado, it just rolls over everyone. There's nothing can stand in front of the tornado. I don't know.
Except for evidently Stefan and Kaya.
Except Stefan, Kaya, and Connor. Connor is my highway overpass. But yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense.
Wait, what was the answer to the tornado though?
Nothing stands in the tornado's way. I take down houses, I take down schools, I take down everything. I don't know.
Okay, I see.
It just rhymes with Dorn. Come on, let's just roll with it.
Except for Kaya and Connor are the overpass.
Well, so out in the Midwest, like if you're on the road, you get under an overpass, so to protect you from a tornado.
Fair.
This has gone south.
Let's move on. I just killed the conversation.
Yeah, keep moving.
Wait, I mean, I don't know. After last week's performance, like you're pretty good. Like there's not much you can do to really shame or make public joke of anything in any way.
What do you mean? What performance?
After last week's exit interview, I mean, Corey's interesting.
Oh, okay. I still have to watch. I gotta binge that. I've heard a lot about it though, and credit to I feel
very tame.
It's
good. I'm happy, but
I wish I played with Corey. I think we could have been a good Bash Brothers combo.
And you two were almost on the same tribe.
I wish we could have done some damage.
Very close.
I wish I played with Kitty too. I think we could have had some fun out there and kicked some ass.
I think it was you and Kitty. If we were gonna do 3 tribes, you and Kitty would have been on the same tribe.
Oh god, we would have been undefeated.
You, Kitty, Erica. You, Kitty, Erica, and I think Sheree, and one of the man that dropped out, and somebody else. Connor.
Oh, Connor first boot for sure.
Yeah. Dang, that would have been interesting. Okay, so post game, your episodes are coming out. Stuff's rolling. You're publicizing. You're one of our bigger publicizers for the season. What's it like? How's the fan reaction?
Good. I've gotten a lot of, and I just want to thank. I mean, people are still watching now. I want to thank everyone who's watched and supported me. This has been a lot of fun, and it's obviously training for the real thing. Hopefully, I do get on the real thing at some point. Obviously, I got to switch my game up a bit, just a tad.
How often do you apply?
Every casting cycle for sure. I change it up every time. It gets better. If
one for the cycle?
I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to keep that private. But if I could somehow find my, I first applied back in right when I graduated college. It was initially you had to be 21 to apply. So I would have applied for, I think, Survivor Philippines, I think. It might even be, I forget. When was, I graduated college in 2005. So I think I applied in 2006. And I had an awful audition video.
That's Philippines. Yeah, okay.
I had a terrible video. So I forget what season that would have been on. And so my videos have gotten better over the years. What'd you say?
You put a few more layers of clothes on in these videos, making them palatable.
Less clothes or more clothes, you said?
More.
More?
Make it palatable.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Less is more.
So this whole experience has been really fun. I have no regrets. I've made a lot of friends, and I think you've done a great job, and I've enjoyed listening to Marissa and Heather. And Heather was one of those ATF losers that I'd gotten fights with. So,
yes.
And we have any comments or anything in the?
Yeah, there are a few that we asked. Tonight's quiet. There's a lot of people watching. Not many people are saying anything. I will say that I think a lot is the turnoff in the chat because of so much. There's a lot of hatred and not towards you. There's just like some arguments going on in the chat right now.
Like what?
Somebody dishing ATF and Max coming in and making a comment about fucking that person's mom.
Nice.
So it's there's some stuff. So I will scan through. I know a lot of the stuff that people were asking you cover. People wanted to know a lot about just your feelings of tribal council, if you felt safe or if you.
Well, if you compare my just my body language from the first tribal to that tribal, like I was like anxious, and also the stump that I was sitting on was extremely uncomfortable. So I was definitely a lot more relaxed. I was crossing my legs, and they did a really good job of buttering me up and making me feel safe. So.
Some questions.
What was your single favorite unaired moment out there?
I thought, you know what? I wish we had gone to video footage because I think I had beaten Say2 in the rock flipping. It was really close, and I think
we got that.
No, I know. I think at one point, I had all 3 down at one point. I think. Honestly, the whole experience was just a lot of fun. I didn't, the bonding, just to hang out in camp. I know it was boring, but it was fun getting to know everybody, and maybe just like searching for the idol. That was a lot of fun. Just actually, and playing the game of Survivor is just a blast. When can you do that?
Yeah, okay, that's started already. That the raw comments already started fights among our own cast in the comment. Yeah. So, what about any notable? Was there? Or did you have any relationships or any moments that weren't caught on camera that played? I guess we already kind of covered that too, but like anybody specifically you liked or had a lot of fun with that it just didn't really get shown on camera.
You know, my opinion of Sean has changed complete 180 on Sean, and because going into the game and also all these like I refer to them as ATF losers. That was just me kind of like hamming it up for the camera. I had a lot of
allegedly.
Yeah.
This sounds like a lot of like alternative facts and fake news.
I had a lot of good conversations with Sean and even Connor and Sarah. We just had a lot of like deep conversations talking about Sarah's life and stuff, and Sean especially. So I did like a 180 on Sean. Like it's not that I didn't like him. It's more about I didn't know him, and we agreed a lot.
To know him is to love him.
We agreed about a lot of things, and then I talked about how my dislike for this fuckhead Redmond, who's this like Survivor spoiler. He's ruining the game.
Something we can all bond over.
Yeah, he's like, this guy's a fuckhead. He's like ruining Survivor for everybody. He spoils seasons. He charms contestants and like uses them to get a notoriety and popularity on Twitter. It's just
and he followed Survivor Washington on Twitter. He followed me on Twitter, and he followed Igor on Twitter when he only was following like 97 people. Mm-hmm. He had all 3 of my accounts followed, and then he unfollowed all 3 of them in one day.
Yeah, he's a slime bag.
So, Wes, I got some questions.
Yep.
What was the deal with your buff? Because at some point you started wearing it, like you had a bad tattoo, and you were about to go pick up a shift at Chili's.
My buff?
What does this look?
Are you talking about my buff?
Yeah, you had it like on your arm, like the waiters that have to cover up their tattoos.
So there is, what's
the deal?
There's 16 players, and there was 15 buffs.
We lost a buff on the way down.
They lost a carbonate.
We 100% had the carbonated buff because I found it when I got home, and we just didn't have it.
They lost a buff, and so Molly split her buff in 2 and gave me half of it. So I didn't have I've got a big head too, so there's no way that buff was getting around my head. So I put it around my arm.
And then my next question is for you, Hunter. Does this mean the end of AskCam? We had a little bit of Sean AskCam last week at 9 minutes and 10 seconds. We're going to go back and review it. But does this mean the end of AskCam or just a shift?
It for sure is going to be a shift. I think that might be the end of AskCam. I can't think of any other.
Oh, man. So what you're saying is you only filmed Wes's ass.
There is another AskCam scene.
Okay, so you weren't just fixated on Wes's.
And that wouldn't be me. That would be Jack, the cameraman.
It's fucking Jack.
I'd like to talk to this Jack.
Jack eating Cheerios in the camp and hanging out with you guys. 90% of the footage is him talking to you guys on the.
Using McDonald's and stuff.
Jack got really good.
Yeah, credit to Jack for doing all that stuff. The other thing I thought about too is, so I found that idle clue, and I didn't want to have it in my possession that much longer. So I'm in the porta potty, the honey bucket, whatever you call it, and I was thinking about dropping. Yeah,
It's super close to camp.
It was super close. I was thinking about dropping the clue in the down there with all the shit and stuff. But I didn't want it to be on top and like have someone see it. So
I think that'd be hilarious.
It would have been funny.
Oh, look! I found the idle clue. Hunter hid it in the shit.
So I was like thinking ways to like get rid of it.
Amazing.
And I didn't know. So and then I decided not to put it in the porta potty. So I hung on to it. I think I tossed it out after the game was over. I'm like, I left. So I get voted out. I walked down that path, and I did say goodbye to my tribe. Just like, it's good playing with you. Good job getting me out. And then literally I get driven by Hunter's mom back to get my stuff. And then I took like literally 10 minutes after I get voted off, I'm on the highway heading home.
You didn't stick around?
I didn't know.
Wes is the only contestant that didn't stick around. Let it be known.
I had an interview on Monday. I had to get out of there.
Yeah. No, all good.
What was your plan if you were going to win?
my plan, if I didn't, well, I would have had to like stay up late Sunday night or wake up early Monday morning.
We were up late Sunday night.
And so I was very honestly, like I wanted to, and this isn't like revisionist history or just me saying this now because I was voted out early, but I was really like looking back on it because I had this interview, like I was so fortunate to get out of there when I did. Because if I got into the merge or whatever, I probably would have had to stay in the jury until Sunday night. That would be a whole extra day and a half.
Yeah, we didn't get out. We don't get out till like midnight of the last night.
Yeah, so I saved myself like 36 hours by getting out then.
Yeah, that's okay. There we go. What are you there, Wes, or did you break up? Wes, did my internet go out? What's going on here? Marissa, you're muted. You have to unmute yourself. Because I muted you because of your dog. But if Wes is frozen for me, is he frozen for you?
Thanks.
Is Wes frozen for you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll wait for him to get back and then we'll wrap things up.
Sorry about that. Like, I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know. Do I have any funny behind the scenes commentary? That challenge took a really long time. That challenge was like 40 minutes long.
How long are the other ones, out of curiosity?
No longer than 20 minutes max. I don't think we didn't reach any challenge got to. No, we actually preview the eating challenge took like 50 minutes, but most of that was just setting things up. And getting food prepared, but that's gonna be a bitch to edit. My first episode was like 15 minutes, maybe at the most. Second challenge, 12 minutes, something like that. Yeah, I didn't go.
So I have a question about this challenge.
Yeah.
So they had to throw the ball past the blocker.
Yeah.
But they just had to get it not blocked. They didn't have to actually catch it.
Yeah, well, I originally had that
So
rule you had to catch it,
but
the thing is, this Carbonado, like literally immediately was just chucking balls, and it was to the point where Wilkeson was so far behind that I was just like, "Fuck it, just throw the ball over Sean," and because I mean the rules of this are already messed up, so it's like there's a few times that happens, and you know what the problem is with that is the fact that my challenge testers never showed up, which should have given me an inkling that
where's the dream team?
The dream team didn't show up. They literally did not come to. I had challenge testing. Everybody's like, "Yes, we'll be there the day of." They didn't show up, and so I should have known probably from that point the camera crew wasn't going to show up. So I don't know. Yeah, that's frustrating. That's the hard part. But so for the viewers watching, I don't know if Wes will get back to us.
Yeah, what the hell is Wes doing? Hold up, he just messaged.
Oh, there he goes. He's back.
Come back. My Wi-Fi turned off.
Did I get the rest of my question or my answer?
What was it?
No one's talking to you.
I was saying I was fortunate enough to get out when I did, or else I would have been.
Yeah.
Okay, so credit to me for getting out when I did.
Yeah, because we were up late. Okay, Wes, do you have any other stuff you want to cover about on the season?
I don't know. I feel like we covered it all. No, nothing. I just, I had a great time. I learned a lot. I learned what to and to not to do on Survivor, and it was definitely a great learning experience.
Okay, well, Wes, Jaden, of course, commented in the chat. Lots of people commented in the chat. They want to thank you for being such a great cast member.
Also, thanks to Jaden for all the help with you, too, and for doing this, all the whatever he does. I don't know what he does, but thanks to Jaden, too.
Yeah, Jaden's just an editor. He does a lot of Jaden gathered cast members, too, and he lives in Australia. So, yeah, big props.
There's no other questions for the Tornado?
I am surprised. Maybe
I feel like you put it all out there.
People might have been, yeah, you did. I mean, you were covering everything. Some people might have tweeted the hashtag. I'm checking the hashtag right now.
It's kind of a weird day too, honestly.
I don't know. We got a lot of questions for the recap.
A lot of people are like, they're very, very. Was there anything in the recap that you guys weren't able to answer?
We had wondered why you guys made Erica sleep outside.
That's a good. Yeah. Why did Erica sleep outside?
That's one other thing that I regret. I knew about this from the real game, about the sleeping situations that you had to watch who's sleeping together. I should have known that like Erica and Kyra were close or whatnot.
Yeah, when someone would rather sleep outside in the wilderness than next to you.
No. There was two tents. The guys were in one tent. The girls were in the other tent. So I didn't know that Erica was sleeping. I was like sound asleep that night because of the waking us up at 3 a.m. And I was
you
like,
literally woke up and your entire tent left the ground. Like it.
I know. I was probably scared. No, I think that was Brett who did that because he was sleeping on. I think he was sleeping on the edge.
Which one?
He was trying to spoon. Brett was trying to spoon with me.
That's fair.
No,
it's your loss if you didn't.
I think we slept head to toe. I don't know what it was.
What's wrong with you? I would have spooned Brett. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I thought I had a good read on everybody, but I guess
was it her "talk dirty to me" sweatshirt?
Is that from her son?
I don't
know, but she had a sweatshirt saying "talk dirty to me," and I just noticed it.
It has to do with her son's thing.
Well, let me ask you a question.
That's all I can read.
So Hunter told me like right after the game, or right when I was voted out, he's like, if I like knowing about you, like how you think, and like that's pretty similar to how I think, I would have played the game the exact same way that you did.
Oh yeah. Did you just cut out again?
No, I didn't. I'm here.
Yeah, that was a very still face. Yeah, 100%. I'm considering doing. I want to do some more just so I can go out and just do that because I'm like, I mean, I don't want to shit on all the other casts, but like, you go in with an expectation, and especially when you have like the preconceived notion of Survivor fans that they think they know everything about everything. I shouldn't be saying this for PR reasons. Our fans are really, really good. But no, yeah, I'd go out there and I would have done the exact same thing. And I'd probably be a pre-merge boot. I'm too out. That's why I want to play Survivor while I'm young, because I don't want to be seen as a threat. I kind of just want to be seen as an idiot.
Yeah.
There's less of a chance of me going pre-merge.
Also the whole thing is you see these aggressive players, the Russells, the Tonys, whatnot, and you want to kind of emulate them and play the way that they did. But, you can't. You can't play that game. It's just going to get people worried and, like, realize that you're a huge threat, and they'll just target you early.
Yep. Yeah, we can play that game more than once. So, Wes, my question is, how do you feel about watching the evolution of Connor?
The evolution of Connor? The read I had in Connor was that he was kind of like, I mean, I'm going to use the term, like he was a nerd. That was like the read I got on him. And also with it, I purposely was going into this game not telling people I was from Boston because I figured it was going to be mostly Washington people too. And so Connor is from Boston, so maybe I should have used it early on, and maybe that we could have worked up some kind of a agreement too. But he's definitely given me a lot more than I thought he was going to give me. He's definitely got some very good confessionals. He's very strategic, and people were buying his lies.
Did you see that coming? Have you been surprised as you watch?
I knew that he was talking behind my back. I knew that he was like going against me, but I didn't know it was to this extent. So like I've said it like 5 times. So credit to Connor for getting me out.
How do you see him faring?
That's the only question you give me. It's a Connor question. Come on, Marissa. And the Ask Cam. There's gonna be more.
I just like poking you where it hurts.
Okay.
Oh.
Your entire game revolved around getting Connor out. He took you out.
No, his whole game revolved around getting Connor out and getting the idol, and he didn't use the idol, and Connor got him out. That's what I love. That is a beautiful storyline. Oh my god, I was loving.
The irony.
It's so good. That's like one of my favorite. There's another storyline this season that I really, really love. I think begins next episode. It starts and it lasts several episodes, and it's really good. But it's like, I'd say that you're up there with Tyson Rainwater and Sumner for his Cody-esque arc. So, yeah, you're in the legendary arc stage.
Okay, well, maybe if you do an All-Star season, I might have to consider coming back.
Yeah, All-Star.
We'll see.
I don't know. Yeah. No, yeah. We won't spoil too much on the contents of the season.
Future seasons.
Some people could pull it out and be very amazing characters this season. We'll have to stick around and see. Okay,
well, if I get S back and Connor's on my season, he's going out first. So
we might have to.
You still are harboring these feelings? This is so Fatal Attraction. Why are you so obsessed with him?
I had drinks with Connor after. We're fine.
Okay, we got to wrap things up. So
he wasn't concerned you were going to poison him? I would have made you drink that cup first.
No, he was
concerned about Connor poisoning me.
Connor was completely different outside of the game. He's a good guy.
Yeah, Connor's a good guy. Okay,
I'm happy. I'm happy that everything that I said was truthful in this conversation. That we didn't get any fights, Hunter, and I didn't say anything I'd regret. So,
good.
You know, it's been a good 90 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
These were concerns of yours?
I had concerns. Yes.
Okay. All right. We're wrapping things up. Stop right here.
Before you do anything terrible.
I had concerns about you, Marissa, too.
Stop. Please, both of you, stop.
Right.
You know nothing.
We are wrapping things up. Thank you all for tuning in to this post-game interview that we're still trying to name. We'll see you next Sunday for episode 6 of Survivor Washington. So from your loving executive producer, excuse me, and of course, don't forget to apply for season 3. You guys would love to do it. Wes will back me up on that. Apply for season 3 and vote for Player of the Week in our weekly poll. So from your loving executive producer, thank you all for tuning in with us tonight and sticking in this hour-and-a-half long interview. We'll see you next week.
It was not that long. We started late.
I'm not ending on that note.
All right. See you guys.